Hey guys, what's up? It's Danielle. So welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be taking you through stuff that I've crocheted, and there is a kitty warning because I'm sitting on the floor. You guys know how that goes. You've been thoroughly warned. So I thought I would do this every once in a while. I'm not going to make it like a regular thing because I don't always get to crochet. Usually I do it in spurts, and sometimes I make a lot, sometimes I don't. It's honestly just as unpredictable as I am with my ADHD. So without further ado, I'm going to take you guys through a couple of things, excuse me, that I have made in the past. Now, full disclaimer, I have a weird obsession with potholders. I love making them, A, because they're pretty easy to make, and B, they're incredibly easy to use as decor. So I decorate by season in my house, aside from Christmas, which I go all out for. But every other season is relatively chill. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. So I will show you guys like the Christmas stuff obviously once we get closer, but excuse me. First of all, we have this pot holder, excuse me, which is done in the round, and I really like these old-fashioned ones just because I think they look nice and, you know, just very classic. This is one of the first things that I learned how to make aside from, you know, just the classic granny square, but these are really easy to make, and then I just make whatever kind of applique and I put it on the top. So obviously this one has a giant sunflower on it, and if you know what my kitchen looks like, it's bright lemon yellow. So I just have this hanging in my kitchen, you know, not all the time, but like usually in the summer, I just hang it in there for decor. And then I am obsessed with breakfast food, so I made this. It's supposed to look like a little piece of toast with a sunny side up egg on it. And this was actually a pattern I found on Pinterest. There's a lot of free patterns on Pinterest, and I also love to make stuff from Bag a Day Crochet here on YouTube. And then there's like, you know, other creators that I don't frequent very often. I kind of just find a pattern that I like or that I want to make, and I just go from there. But this is just so cute. It's supposed to be a little egg on like rye. So then just have a regular little coaster, nothing special. I keep a whole bunch of coasters in my coffee bar just because I want people to get the message if they come over or if we do tea or something. This was a pot holder I made last Christmas when I was at my mom's house. I always tend to bring something with me just because it's like the only free time that I really get. So, and you know, with being in school right now and everything, it's hard to like have to do what I have to do for school and work and home and fit in time to crochet. So I usually go pretty hard when I'm on vacation. But this is a thermal stitch in this really pretty raspberry color. And this one is more so practical because it is thermal stitch. So I can either put this on display or it's just, you know, something I can actually use. Generally, my rule is anything that has an applique on it is purely decorative. And I know that might sound like really type A, but I don't care because I took a lot of time to make these things. So moving on, this, I apologize because you're not going to be able to see the whole thing in one fell swoop, but I'm going to see what I can do. So this is actually a kitchen towel, and I used, as you can see, 2 different colors of yarn, And this is all cotton. So I do primarily use cotton because, first of all, it is incredibly versatile. And secondly, like I said, primarily make potholders. So it just makes sense. But this is just really gorgeous. This is the Alpine stitch, if I remember correctly. And then I just put a simple border at the bottom and the top. So this took me a little while to make, but you know, it's just something fun to have like for fall and just in general, I guess. Some of these are things that I use, I guess you could say, as like doilies or placemats. Like I will usually keep a candle on top of my stovetop and I'll put the candle on one of these. So this I was just playing around, and it's like kind of a hexagon. It's not really a hexagon, but the way it sits is like, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe this. It's kind of like ruffled in a little way. But this was just something that I made on the fly, and I really like the picos, but yeah, I originally was going to have it start out as a pentagon, and then I was like, that would be kind of weird. So I just turned it into a hexagon. And then this was meant to be something to like bump up against the back of the counter so that I could put my, you know, like salt and pepper and hot sauce and all that on it. But I think I'm just going to take this apart and turn it into something else because I don't really use it. Then we have this cute little guy, which I've had for quite a few years now. This is more so what I would put out like in the spring. And I really like the different colors of the yarn. I think it's really pretty. Kind of reminds me of Easter. And then, you know, just have like a really nice little flower on top. Then we come to the ones that I probably use most often. So let me move this out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. So then we have this, which again is kind of like a doily type thing. So if you're not into that, I don't know what to tell you. I guess find something else. But apparently I really like to make doilies and placemats and that sort of thing. So again, this is just something that sits on my stovetop generally, or if I need like a quick placemat, I'll just lie this down. But there's that. And then we have this, which is one of my favorites for summer. It's supposed to be like a really big sun. And if you guys know, I love yellow, especially like super bright lemon yellow. So really any kind of variation of that, I am obsessed with it. But I like this just because it's so happy, and I don't know, it just brings me a lot of joy, which, let's be real, that is the point in making all these things. This is another, pot holder. This isn't thermal stitch. It's crocheted in like an older style, but I did double it. So it's thick enough to the point where I could use it as a regular pot holder, and that's actually the intent behind it because I didn't put the little hook, the little loop at the top. So, I just thought it was really pretty, and I was trying to use up some yarn. Then we have this really gorgeous pot holder, and this is the Alpine stitch again. So totally in love with that. I think, yeah, I made this first and then I made that kitchen towel second. But I like trying out new stitches, just seeing how they turn out. I think this would be really pretty, like if you did a sweater or something. I do not have the patience to make a sweater. I'm currently trying to make a blanket. And the last time I did that, it took me like over a year. So you guys can probably tell, that's why I try to stick to things that are not super complicated. Not only that, but I also tend to forget what size hook I use because it tends to vary just depending on what I'm making or how I feel, to be honest. So I can never remember what hook I used, and I never write it down because I don't have common sense apparently. So I prefer to just crochet things in one fell swoop because I find it easier. This one's a little bit more decorative. It is crocheted in like that older style, I guess you could say. And of course, here's Baki stepping on everything. But kind of going back to like the 2000s with like the brown and the mint. Does everybody remember that? Yeah, I sound old saying that. I think this was one of the first ones that I ever made, and you can tell it has some staining, but it has been washed numerous times. But this one was one of the first ones I made that wasn't incredibly like scrunched up and weird looking, and it actually turned out okay. So anyways, now we have Mochi standing on the last one. Excuse me, bubs. All right, and then we have another thermal stitch, and I made this one last Christmas as well. But again, you can tell I love yellow. And again, super practical. I also make it so that they fit my hands. I have really, really large hands, but I make it so that they fit my hands properly because, you know, it's not fun to be pulling stuff out of the oven and you have like not enough to go around, you know. So anyways, that's all I'm going to show you guys for today. I will show you more, I promise, because I have a lot more to share, and also like some other crochet projects that I've done that are not related to potholders or doilies or placemats or anything like that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye, guys.